All right, so today we're diving into something I know you've been really curious about, Nagano Tonic. You sent over a ton of research articles, marketing materials, like, you're really trying to figure this one out?
Yeah, it seems like you want to get to the bottom of this miracle drink. There's a lot of hype around Nagano Tonic, for sure.
There is. So from what I'm seeing, it's being marketed as this natural weight loss solution. Boost metabolism, improve digestion, keep your blood sugar in check. It seems like they're promising a lot. And they also say it's allergen-free and non-habit forming, which is a plus if it's true.
It's interesting how much emphasis they put on that metabolism piece, and they're not wrong.
Right.
A slower metabolism can make weight loss harder,
Yeah.
but it's just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
You can't ignore diet, exercise, stress. It's all connected.
Right. It's never as simple as just taking something and poof, the weight's gone. But let's get into what they're actually putting in this tonic. Nagano Tonic claims to use this unique blend of all natural ingredients, and some of these are pretty interesting.
Yeah, they've definitely picked ingredients with a history in traditional medicine and wellness. Let's start with Camu. Camu. It's a superfruit packed with vitamin C and antioxidants. And they're saying it can like kickstart your metabolism and give you energy. Oh, and then there's EGCG, which I know is found in green tea. I've definitely heard about it for metabolism. And green tea has been used for centuries, so there's at least some history there.
Right, and then they have mangosteen in there. That's a tropical fruit that's high in fiber and antioxidants. They're suggesting it can promote weight loss and boost metabolism, but again, we'd need to look at the research on that.
Okay, and this next one really caught my eye. Panax. They're claiming it can not only help with weight loss, but also increase sex drive. That's a pretty bold claim. What's the story there?
Well, Panax has been used in traditional medicine for a long time, often for gut health. And there is some newer research that's looking at the link between gut health and
Yeah.
Panax, various aspects of well-being, including weight and libido. But it's still pretty early, so I think we need to be cautious about those claims. So maybe not a miracle solution for everything.
Exactly. Traditional use doesn't always equal proven scientific effectiveness. We need some solid research to really confirm these benefits.
Good point. Okay, so we've got Camu, EGCG, mangosteen, and Panax. But that's not all, is it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
They've also got Momordica charantia, which they say can boost your metabolism and even help your body convert carbs into energy instead of storing them as fat. It's an interesting concept. There is some early research on that, but we need more to say for sure.
And then there's ashwagandha. I feel like I've been hearing a lot about this one lately. It's an adaptogen, right? It's supposed to be good for stress and energy.
Yeah, ashwagandha has gotten really popular.
Mhm.
It's thought to help your body manage stress better. And there is some research suggesting that reducing stress can actually have a positive impact on your metabolism and energy levels. But more research is needed to fully understand how it works for weight loss.
So potentially helpful, but maybe not a miracle cure. And I see they've also got acerola, eleuthero root, alfalfa leaf, cinnamon, cassia, ginger, inulin. It's like they just threw everything in there.
It can feel a little overwhelming,
Yeah.
but I think from a marketing perspective, it makes sense. They're trying to create that sense of more is better.
It does make you wonder if they've actually looked at how all these ingredients interact. Like, have they really figured out the best amounts of each one and the best combinations to make it as effective as possible?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really highlights how important it is to look beyond the marketing.
Right.
Because even if some of these ingredients look promising on their own, we need more research to know how they all work together.
Yeah.
Especially in a complex formula like this.
Okay, so it's not just about the individual ingredients, but how they work as a whole. But at least they're making this stuff in a place that meets quality standards right. I see that Nagano Tonic is made in an FDA-registered GMP-certified facility in the USA.
Yeah, that's true. And that does offer some reassurance about the manufacturing process. FDA registration just means they've notified the FDA that they're making a food product. And GMP certification means they're following certain manufacturing practices.
But does that actually guarantee that the supplement is effective? Or that it's going to do what they claim?
Not necessarily. It's more about making sure the product is made correctly
Yeah.
and labeled correctly. It doesn't necessarily mean their claims are true or that the ingredients really work.
So quality control, yes, but not necessarily a guarantee of results.
Got it. I've been looking at some reviews online, and it seems like people are having very different experiences with this stuff. Some people are saying they lost a ton of weight and they feel amazing, and others are saying it did nothing for them.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges with these types of products. Everyone responds differently. There are so many factors at play, like genetics, body composition, lifestyle habits, even your gut microbiome. So what worked for one person might not work for another. So how do we make sense of all this? We've got this mix of potentially helpful ingredients, some interesting claims, but also mixed reviews and a lack of clear scientific evidence. What do we do with all that?
I think that's a great question, and it's a perfect place to pick up in our next segment. We need to look more closely at the research and the marketing tactics, and really consider your individual needs and goals before you make any decisions about Nagano Tonic.
Okay, so we've talked about the ingredients on kind of some initial thoughts, but I'm seeing some pretty bold claims in these marketing materials. One that really jumped out at me was this whole thing about Nagano Tonic being based on this ancient Japanese elixir that supposedly helped people stay slim and healthy for centuries. It sounds very mystical and intriguing, but is there any truth to that?
It's a good story for sure, tapping into that ancient wisdom. But, marketing often romanticizes the past.
Okay.
Inevitably is. While traditional knowledge can be valuable, it's important to remember that it doesn't always line up with modern science.
Right, just because something's been used traditionally doesn't mean it actually works, or that there's any real evidence to back it up. And even if there was some truth to this ancient elixir thing, I mean, people's lifestyles and diets have changed so much. It's hard to believe that one tonic would have the same effect today.
Yeah, exactly. Context is everything. What might have worked in the past doesn't necessarily work in the modern world.
Okay, so maybe take that ancient elixir thing with a grain of salt. But another claim that caught my eye was this whole idea of a dormant metabolism. They're suggesting that Nagano Tonic can, like, awaken or reactivate your metabolism. Is that even a real thing?
It's a catchy phrase, isn't it?
No.
It plays into that idea that there's something within us just waiting to be unlocked. But the idea of a dormant metabolism is kind of oversimplification. Our metabolic rate can fluctuate due to things like age, genetics, hormonal changes. But it doesn't just turn off.
So it's not like our metabolism is literally sleeping and just needs this magic potion to wake it up.
No, not really. It's more about understanding what affects our metabolism and finding ways to optimize it.
So instead of focusing on reactivating a dormant metabolism, maybe we should be thinking about ways to support and boost our metabolism naturally.
Exactly. And that's where things get interesting.
Yeah.
Because while some of the ingredients in Nagano Tonic, like the green tea extract or some of the adaptogens, might have a small effect on metabolic rate, it's not likely to be this huge overnight change.
Right, it's about creating a sustainable approach.
Yeah,
Not just looking for that quick fix.
exactly. And that usually involves lifestyle changes. Things like regular exercise, good sleep, managing stress, and eating a balanced diet.
Okay, so this dormant metabolism claim is probably more marketing hype than scientific fact. But what about the testimonials? I mean, there are people saying they've lost a ton of weight, that they have all this energy, and
Well, let's just say they're happy with certain benefits.
testimonials can be really powerful, can't they? They appeal to our emotions and make us think, well, if it worked for them, it can work for me too. Right, like if they can do it, I can do it too. But we have to remember that these are just individual stories, right? Not everyone's going to have the same experience.
Exactly. And testimonials often lack context. We don't know everything about those people, their lifestyle, their health history, all the other factors that might be contributing to their results. And it's impossible to rule out the placebo effect.
The placebo effect? You mean just believing that something will work can actually make a difference?
It's a really interesting thing. Our minds and bodies are connected. And sometimes just believing in something can have real impact on our experience, even if the product itself isn't doing anything.
So how do we know if these testimonials are showing real results? Or if it's just the placebo effect?
That's where critical thinking comes in. It's good to be a little skeptical of testimonials and realize they're just one piece of the puzzle.
So don't ignore them completely. But don't base your decisions solely on them either. What else should we be talking about when we see claims like this?
Well, first and foremost, we need to look at the science. What does the research say about these ingredients and the benefits they claim? Don't just rely on what the marketing materials tell you.
So do your own research. Look for independent studies.
Right. Look for studies that are published in reputable journals that have a lot of participants, a control group, and that have been peer-reviewed. Those things make the findings more reliable.
And I'm guessing we should be careful about research that's funded by the company selling the product. That seems like a conflict of interest.
Absolutely. Transparency is key. Research that's done by independent groups is generally more trustworthy.
Okay, so we've got check the science, be careful about testimonials, look for unbiased research. What else?
Think about your own health and what you're hoping to achieve. What are your goals for taking Nagano Tonic? Are you looking for a quick fix? or a more sustainable approach to health? Do you have any health conditions that might affect how your body reacts to certain ingredients?
Right, it's about personalized health. What works for one person might not work for another. And that's probably where talking to a doctor comes in, right?
Exactly. Your doctor can help you figure out if Nagano Tonic is right for you and if there are any risks. They can also check for interactions with any medications you're taking.
Right. It's easy to forget about those interactions,
Yeah.
especially with supplements that have a lot of different ingredients.
And while we're talking about things to watch out for, pay attention to the language they use in the marketing. Are they exaggerating? Promising miracles? Using really sensational language? Those are red flags.
So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Often, yes. A good product doesn't need to rely on hype or big promises. They should be honest about what's in it, what it can do, and what it can't do.
Honesty and transparency. Two things we should always look for.
Right.
We've covered a lot here. We talked about looking at marketing claims with a critical eye, finding solid scientific evidence, thinking about our individual needs, talking to our doctors, and being aware of those red flags. What's the main thing you want our listener to take away from all this?
I think the most important message is be an informed consumer. Don't just believe the hype. Do your own research. Ask questions. And make decisions that are right for you.
And don't be afraid to be skeptical.
Right.
It means you're thinking critically.
Exactly. Now, in our last segment, we're going to step back a bit and look at the bigger picture of the weight loss industry, the appeal of quick fixes, and what it really means to be healthy.
Right, so we've really kind of dug into Nagano Tonic here, the ingredients, the science, the marketing. And now I think it's time to zoom out a little. We're talking about this one product that promises weight loss, but it's really part of a much bigger picture, right? This whole weight loss industry is huge. Everywhere you look, there's a new diet or a miracle pill or some magic solution to get rid of fat.
Yeah, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. That really capitalizes on that desire for quick fixes and the pressure to look a certain way. It can be so hard to sift through all the noise and figure out what actually works.
And it feels like it plays on our insecurities too, like if I could just lose those extra pounds, I'd be happier and more confident.
For sure. And I think it's important to remember that. Weight loss isn't always simple. It's not just about calories in, calories out. There are so many things that influence it. Genetics, hormones, stress, sleep, even your gut health.
Right. It's way more complex than just having willpower
Yeah.
or finding the right product. It's about figuring out what your body needs and addressing the real reasons why you might be gaining weight or struggling to lose it.
Right. And that usually means looking at your lifestyle and making changes that improve your overall health.
So things like exercising regularly, managing stress, getting enough sleep, and eating a healthy diet. Those are the most important things. Right?
Absolutely. Those are the foundations of
Yes.
sustainable health and weight management.
Okay, so if those are the foundations, where do supplements like Nagano Tonic fit in? I mean, they can't replace those healthy habits, but can they be helpful in some way?
That's a great question. I think it's important to be thoughtful about supplements. They're not magic solutions, but they can potentially offer some benefits when used correctly and under the guidance of a healthcare professional.
So, for example, if someone's missing certain nutrients, a supplement might help with that.
Exactly. Or if someone's dealing with a lot of stress, certain adaptogens like ashwagandha might be helpful.
But it sounds like the key is to use supplements as a strategy, not as the main solution, more like an addition to those healthy habits.
Exactly. Think of them as a way to complement your healthy lifestyle.
Okay, so no magic bullets. But supplements could have a place in a holistic approach to health and well-being. I think that's a really important takeaway from this deep dive. It's made us really think about the claims being made, the science behind them, and what it means to take control of our own health journey.
It's about recognizing that well-being is more than just weight loss. It's about feeling good, having energy, and living a life that aligns with your values.
Well said. And it's about being informed,
Yeah.
asking questions, and making choices that empower us to live our best lives.
Absolutely. Remember, your health journey is unique. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. Be curious, be critical, and be your own advocate.
Great advice. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Nagano Tonic and this bigger conversation about weight loss and well-being. We'll see you next time for another fascinating topic.